Okay, we should have audio now. It was just my ThinkPad button. So, okay, so let me go back over this. So, it was sent here, working. It was not supposedly not powering on, nothing coming on. I plug it in, fan spins, turns on. I'm thinking, okay, why is this sent here? So, let's start it up, and no battery is detected. So, it'll have a X on the battery. So, behind door number 1 is a bad ISL 6259. That's right on the edge, and that probably took a good liquid hit. I'm hoping it's that. Behind door number 2 is a bad pull-up resistor for an SMC data line for battery detection. Behind door number 3 is a bad SMC, and it's Monday, so that could be what's going to happen. And behind door number 4 is a bad battery. So let's start. I'm going to go ahead and change the ISL, because I'm hoping it will be the ISL. But it is Monday, so we'll see. And also, we have now on-screen multimeter that Paul, I think Paul Daher in chat, I don't know the correct pronunciation of his last name, but he sent us this multimeter, and now we'll have on-screen multimeter. So let's go ahead and probably replace the ISL. The board is rainwater damaged, and there's no corrosion on it, but signs of liquid on the board. So rainwater is sometimes like distilled water. Basically, has very little mineral content. It really depends. So there is definitely water on the board, but not enough that it corrodes. So go ahead and change this ISL. The ISL area looks pretty clean, but never know. And maybe it will work, maybe it will not. But that's the easiest thing to change right now. So, hi Paul. I'd actually just want to thank you for the meter. I really appreciate it, and the battery charger, because the meter will kill the battery from what Lewis said. So, thank you very much, Paul, for sending that to me. I appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in my fume extractor and pull the ISL off and replace it. So I'm going to take note of another thing we want to check is current sensing. Let's check current sensing right now. So current sensing, we want to check between pins 28 and 27 of the ISL. So, and pins 17 and 18. So 27 and 28 are the two end right here, and now you guys get to see in the multimeter. I'll put this to ohms. Make sure it has RS-232 connection, and we have connection to the multimeter. So we're going to check pins 27 between 27 and 28 should be around 20 ohms. That's not good. Hang on a second here. Oh, we have. Wait a second. I'm still learning this meter. I want regular ohms. I don't want milliohms. So pins 27, 28 is 19 ohms. So that's good. So now we need to check pins 17 and 18 of the ISL, which is going to be right here. And that is 3.5 ohms. That's fine. So now what I want to check is diode mode to ground on the SCL line coming from the ISL. So I'm going to select diode mode, and we're going to check diode mode to ground on the SCL line, which I believe, let me find where it's going to be pin 11, I think. Pin 11, 10 and 11. So that would be the third one in, fourth one in. And we're going to measure that and see if we have a short. We have no short. Okay, so U7000 is off and 18 are grounding out. It's probably the no, this is a 820-00165. Yeah, it's probably, like you said, it's probably the ISL. That's U7100 on this board. That's I'm gonna go ahead and change. I don't think it's grounding out. But I'm just gonna rip it off the board because that's probably the most likely cause. Oh, you're talking about your board. U7000 is off and 18 and 17 are grounding out. Okay, so you're gonna have an issue. So the ISL is off. One thing to check is make sure the capacitors are on the ISL. A lot of the current sensing resistors, they feed into a capacitor for smoothing. Make sure none of those caps are shorted. And if not, I don't know. That's strange. I'm gonna say just inject maybe 0.2 of a volt and see what's gonna get hot and go from there. It'll probably maybe your SMC. So I'm gonna get a fresh ISL 6259. But yeah, that doesn't sound good if those lines are grounding out. Could be a cap. So check your capacitors near the ISL. That could cause it. So let's get an ISL. Yeah, that is strange. I wouldn't really know what's going to cause that. So our fresh ISL. Make sure that here's the thing about grounding. It's not really required, but when you're handling chips, should be this aluminum bar is connected to my Quick's grounding strap. So just on the safe side. So I'm going to go ahead and take off this chip. I'm going to use about 430. These boards are heatsink pretty well. I'm going to turn my air down a little bit, about 90%. I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. So the ISL is off. Do you see the price? What? I was thinking about injecting volt, but only, just do it. You're not gonna mess it up by doing that. Do you see in the price shut up on your heat station? I don't understand. So let's go ahead and what I'm gonna do is feed some leaded solder onto those pads. And hopefully this is what's causing the issue. I don't want to have to change the SMC, but it is Monday, so. So I'm going to go ahead and feed leaded solder onto these pads. It'll make wicking easier. Now you're not going to hurt anything by injecting a little voltage. I would not worry about hurting it at all with injecting voltage. It's something that I do all the time, you know, to find a short. You're you know, it'll just make it easier and quicker on you to find the short. But if the SMC gets hot, then you know what your issue was. These boards tend to heat sink really well. These MacBook Air boards tend to be sometimes a pain to rework. I'm going to put more flux down, and we're going to make sure we have a good amount of solder on these pads. And solder the new chip on, and hopefully it will work. If not, it's going to be a lousy repair. Yeah, you know, this isn't necessarily this cleaner. From what, like I said, what I've been told, it's made by Crest OEM. People can disagree, you know, I don't really care. It doesn't matter. If they think the cleaner is, if they think that the cleaner is junk, then don't buy it, you know. In my opinion, it's not junk, so it doesn't really matter. What matters at the end of the day is when you get the job done. It doesn't matter if your equipment costs $100 or $1,000. You know, if you get the job done at the end of the day, then that's what your goal is. So I'm just going through and making sure I have enough solder on my pads, which I do. Now what I'm going to do is get the chip ready. Yeah, they have a deal going with Crest. You know, this cleaner probably comes out of the same factory as Crest. You know, what does it matter? A lot of times you're paying for the brand. You know, that's what it is sometimes. You're just paying for the brand. You're not actually paying for the product. You're paying for the brand that's on the product. This also has corrosion on the DCM board, so we're going to be ultrasonic in this, of course. Basically, when you're soldering these chips, is you just want to tack it down, because it's going to want to blow away. Once it's sitting on the solder pads, you're good, and then you can touch it up. And of course, as always, we always make a blob shoot out of the side of it. That's how you always solder ISLs. Now what we're going to do is drag our iron across each of the pins and make sure it's soldered, and hopefully it still works. Oh, that's the multimeter. I was wondering what was beeping. I really like this micro bevel tip because it allows me to feel each pin on the chip. Kind of like the J-tips do, but this isn't a micro pencil. This is it's just a regular Hakko soldering iron, the 888. So just want to drag our pins to clean up any bridges and to make sure it's soldered. Which it is. Now we clean the area with a little bit of alcohol. Where is my alcohol? And we make sure that everything is soldered good. And we can test it and hope that it works. And we don't have to go further into it. It would be nice if this would work, but or this could be turned into a miserable stream. And this is a 820000165. I don't even have a SMC for this. How do you like the meter? It's the meter is pretty good. I like it. One thing that I like about it, but it doesn't really apply, is it's fast enough to be able to measure taps, and that's something that, without paying a lot of money for a meter, you probably won't have. So, frequency is frequency. If the crest has some magic mode, no, it doesn't. Yeah, exactly. Crest copy at 1/10 of the price. ISL looks nicely soldered. Yeah, it'll actually measure capacitors. It's quick enough. I'll show you guys in a minute. And there are a couple pins here that are not soldered properly. And of course that's the SDL lines, of course. Otherwise it looks good. So we're just going to go through and add a little solder on ISL. Again, a little more flux. Paul should build a fume extractor. I couldn't justify paying $600 for a glorified shop vac. It's just simply not worth it. Okay, I think that's good. Go ahead and test it. And hopefully this works and detects the battery. If not, we have a bigger issue going on. Do you see the price in the JB? No, I didn't. I imagine if it's JBC, it's going to be a lot of money. There's no such thing as a cheap JBC product. It's all you know, several grand. So I'm gonna put in the drive, and hopefully this works. This may not even work. No, sometimes stuff goes wrong. To be honest, my FX888 has done a fine job. Hang on, I'm going to test this and then I'll answer your question. So we get a green light in the charger and no fan spin. So probably the ISL is not soldered properly, or I knocked off a resistor in the area. So most likely thing that would be knocked off is R77102. So we're going to go over the schematic and look at what that is. It sounds probably like a no stuff resistor. If not, it happens. We'll put a new one on. Or it's possible that the ISL that I put on there is a dud. And as I thought, that is a no stuff resistor. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is touch up my pins again, as sometimes the ISL doesn't get soldered all that well. Another thing I'm going to check and see if we have PP-G3 hot, which should be present, as the ISL 6259 generates PP-G3 hot. So that shows up on the backlight fuse. And that's 1.4 volts. So what's going on is the ISL is probably not soldered properly, or I got a dud from the real ISL, which that happens fairly often, as these chips do not come from Mouser.com. So let's make sure to take out the SSD. You don't want to rework this customer's data on there. Let's clean it and have a look at the ISL. Sometimes a pin is not connected. Yeah, just $3,000 for a fume extractor is absurd. It really is. That is unnecessary. It's a waste of money, in my opinion. Whatever, just because I didn't push it down like I usually do. So I'm going to heat the chip and push it down so the solder shoots up the side like it should. If that still doesn't work, chances are I probably just got a dud ISL, and that happens. My guess is it's just not soldered down all the way, so I'm going to raise my temp, or raise my air, I should say. They've had tweezers for the 888 for a long time. We're going to try again, and what it almost looks like is the pad is gone for, or the trace is gone for one of the SCL lines for battery detection, so that would make sense. And maybe hopefully we'll get fan spin after this. Green light and still no fan spin. We probably got a dud ISL. So let me just double check again. Just make sure I didn't miss any pins. We got a dud ISL, I think. A lot of times you'll drive yourself crazy because, you know, you think it's something you did when it's actually the chip. It's happened to me a couple times where, you know, I'm working on something, I'm thinking, what did I do wrong? Why isn't it working? When in reality, it's just that the chip is bad. You know what? No, we have a broken pad for SMC data line. So that explains why the battery's not being detected. So let me see here. Maybe it's just my tweezers. There's a pad there. Yeah, there's a pad there. That's unfortunate. Kind of hoping that would, because that would explain it. Okay, let's get another ISL. Yeah, with the cheap cleaners, you know, people don't have to like them. You know, it's. Did I just drop my reel of chips? Yes, I did. No, it doesn't really matter if someone doesn't like the tools you use. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're still getting the job done. Yeah, I'm going to the conference in September. Probably fix it. Should be pretty interesting. It's 300 miles from me, so it's pretty close. Well, it's just a, I really don't even know what it's about. Just for a right to repair, and it's more just like a little meetup for technicians. It's not really a formal kind of thing. It's kind of just like a meetup, you know, to meet the people you know or heard of, and just talk about stuff that's going on. That's all. We're going to put a fresh ISL on there. Perhaps the other one was bad, which that's happened to me a few times where it's bad. The ISLs, I wish I could get them from Mauser, but through Mauser you have to buy like 3,000 of them. Can you do one? Sure. Just let me know. On Mauser.com you have to buy like 3,000 of these things. I'm not buying 3,000 chips. I'm never going to use them all. Lewis is live. If you meet Lewis, say, sorry, how are you? How much are the... No, I'm never going to need 3,000 chips. I mean, I don't go through these things that fast. It would probably be... I have no idea. They're probably about $3 each, so it'd get pretty expensive there. 3,000 chips, that would last me a lifetime. That would... Yeah, if I see Lewis, say, sorry, who are you? That would be fun. I'm gonna do that if I see him. That would be fun. I want to get some Always Wick Your Pads t-shirts, and send one to Lewis. That would be a fun shirt that he would like. We have a little solder bridge I'm cleaning up. There we go. Thanks to the amazing Amtech 559, and actually I should be getting more Flux today, but the mail hasn't come yet. Okay, so I think this chip is soldered this time around. Looks good. So now it should. I don't care. It could be still warm and it could go. We'll turn it on. Green light and fan spin. So the fan did spin, so that ISL was dead. So if I see Lewis in September, I have to give him a really hard time about that $1, $2 ISL being bad. So that's another thing I'm going to do if I see Lewis. I'm going to let him know that an ISL he sent me was bad. A single ISL. That would be funny though. If you just threw a big stink over a single ISL being dead, that would be funny. The chip is like $1.75. So hopefully our battery's detected weight. Hopefully the battery is detected. The pad looked kind of funny for the battery SDL line, so SCL, whatever it's called, I have no idea. So fan is spinning. Gonna go through an SMC or RTC reset as usual. And hopefully our battery gets detected. So if it's not the battery, then it's going to get thrown in this special tank right here, and that magically makes things work again. Hopefully. Could be corrosion under the SMC, so we may reflow it. And the battery is still not detected. Oh well, actually, you know what? I guess it would help if I plug the battery in, for one. I guess if the battery's not plugged in, it's not going to be able to get detected, so. What are those games sitting there? What games? There's no game sitting anywhere. Let me see, I don't know what you're talking about. On the floor? The floor, that's a box. The box is off to the side near the ultrasonic cleaner. Those are business cards. There's no games here. Xbox game right next to the computer. Hang on. Next to the ThinkPad? Oh no, that's not a, that's a, and the battery is still not detected. Okay, that's not good. So, the battery is still not detected, so what does that mean? That means this is a miserable board to repair. If you're talking about the this box near the ThinkPad, this is a hard drive and a USB 2.0 to IDE adapter. So the next thing to check is pull-up resistor for the SMC and maybe give the SMC a little reflow. I don't think water would have got under the SMC. Just wondering because in your last video, no, I don't have any Xbox games in here. I don't have. Okay, so now it's either SMC, bad battery, or pull-up resistor. So let's have a look. So at your battery connector, there are going to be a few. So this is going to show up on R5381 for one of the SCL lines. So let me have a look at the ISL area. I mean the SMC area. Actually, you know what? This board is nasty. This board is really, really nasty. From Flux and everything, so this is gonna go get ultrasonic and maybe it'll magically work again. There's my screwdriver. Take the fan and heat sink off. Here's a big thing with these boards is never, always take note of your screws for the CPU heatsink, because if you put the wrong screws with CPU heatsink, you will long screw damage the board. So make sure to take note of that on the MacBook Air board. Same thing with the grommet on the fan. It is always remember your screw placement, because you would not want to long screw damage the board. I don't know what was the big deal about sticking with the old design for the fan. You know, to put grommets in the board seems stupid. So I'm going to throw the DCM board as well, just in case that's somehow shorting something to ground and causing, because it does have quite a bit of corrosion on it, the DCM board. So I'm going to throw them both into the ultrasonic. I want to put the fan in there, so I'm going to throw this board on there. I'm going to put the bottom side, creation side down, because that is most likely the issue is on the creation side. This DCM board has a kind of corrosion on it too, so I'm just going to throw them both in. This is hot and steamy. So now I wait. I'm gonna go see what, while we're waiting for the cleaner to finish, I'm gonna go see what Lewis is talking about.
About what type of life are you living? Are you living the type of life where if you're down on your luck, there's a group of people that are willing to help you? Because here's the thing: if you don't know
I'll take a look at that later. I just wanted to see maybe if there's anyone that needs to be banned in chat. If there's not. Yeah, with the long screw damage on the CPU though, I would think it wouldn't boot at all. That's a really common thing, is they won't even boot, they won't do anything. They'll just act like it has no V-core, no brain. Now let's take out the battery. Well, we're here, why not? Let's have a look under the battery. Let's see if any signs that liquid may have got in here. You never know. Hi, Alan. How are you? So I'm going to go ahead and pull the battery out. You never know. You might also let us know what's going on under the trackpad. But hopefully this 5-minute cycle will on the ultrasonic will clean any corrosion that may be lurking under the SMC. Never know. Okay, so good news. There is no signs of water damage on the battery. All the markers are white. So now we definitely have a board issue. So I would think if the battery got damaged with all the water, it would have an issue. But you never know. The I/O board may be shorting a signal to ground on the SMC because it did have corrosion on it, and it worked, so I ignored it. So maybe we'll get lucky and it will work after. That would be great. Now this microscope, it does the job. I would eventually like to get a trinocular. With semifocal, but I'm not going to right now. This does the job. Great for the price as well. I don't think liquid got into the battery, so that's a good thing. So now it's either the SMC or pull-up resistor or blown data line. Never know. So now this is done. We're going to put our board into the distilled water and alcohol bath to clean out the Branson. This is very hot, burning hot. It's a steaming motherboard. You don't want to get this Branson stuff on your skin either. Even though being diluted, it's not going to hurt you much. Now we're going to thoroughly dry the board. I'm going to get my hot air, set the temp lower, like we'll do 218. Jessa and Lewis could bash this cleaner all they want, but this cleaner does a great job. I mean, its board is spotless. This board has similar problem with the thread. Alan, go ahead and link me to that thread. Here you go. I'll make you a moderator. And just go ahead and link me to that thread and I'll take a look at it. Thank you. 3435, that's pretty close to this board. Liquid damage board, boot from charger, okay, ASD failed battery test, tried with a couple of working good battery, OSX still not seeing battery, no battery info, SMC is clean. Does PP brush G3 out measure without the battery? With, or what does PP brush G? Oh, see, I answered to this. I think, yeah, diode mode to ground on charger CSO lines, 8.6 volt, 8.16 volts on PP bus, and your CSO lines were low, so that was a dead SMC. I'm gonna check those and see. But yeah, this would probably be the SMC. That's the thing. Yeah, I remember that. In the case that this is the SMC and I don't have it on a donor board, I'm going to have to see who will, who has it or who's willing to sell me one. Maybe I'll get lucky and it'll be a pull-up resistor. Never know. So right now I'm just drying the water that's under the chips. Don't want to start it with the water in there. Go through again and ton of water into the CPU as usual. Okay, now I go ahead and put the heatsink back on. I'm going to get a Q-tip. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. You know, somehow maybe the corrosion on the DCM board was causing it not to see the battery. Given the fact that as a data lines going to the SMC, it could do weird things, so maybe that's what caused it. And the next thing we're going to check is pull up resistors for the SMC. This is a quad core too, I think, as the die is pretty long. Quad cores generally have a longer die. This may just be a no, this is a 165. This is Broadwell. So yeah, this is a quad core, or it has Iris graphics or whatever they call it. I'll find my thermal paste, wherever that might be. For some, I'll just use this stuff. Probably gonna have to ultrasonic this again, so not me. I like fixing pros. That's just what I MacBook Pros are, for me, are easy to fix. Everyone has their preferences. And now Chris Long is live. Now my fan. Yeah, see, if she thinks it's garbage, that's fine, you know. I'm gonna plug in my fan and we're gonna try it. Hopefully I'll even be able to get a ISL for this because I'm in an SMC. Because I don't have this donor board. Which I should, but I don't. Next is we're going to have a look at the TCM board. And it looks like all of the corrosion was cleaned off the DCM board, so maybe, just maybe, this is what was causing our issue. And this is a 820-00165. Yeah, it might work. I really doubt it's the board on the stove, because there's nothing really damaged on the board. Now, usually if, Alan, a question for you is, was the ISL visually damaged? So this is still wet. I'm going to dry this. Yeah, I have a feeling this is the SMC on this too. Next, I'm going to check the resistance to ground on charger CSO lines. What might have happened is the DC inboard, the corrosion on the DC inboard, maybe somehow screwed up the ISL, and the ISL screwed up the SMC. That could be what happened. No green light in the charger, and nothing. Is there still liquid under something? No, there's still liquid, probably DC inboard, and that's why it's not working. Let's see, maybe under this foam. Oh, there's a ton of liquid under this shield for who knows what. Thunderbolt or something. Now let's try it. Or the other possibility is you never know when a little bit of corrosion Yep, still not. So there's still probably liquid under something is my guess. or the ultrasonic probe points on the DC in. So let's do a DC in board repair and see if, I'm sure this needs to be replaced, but I just hit my head on the microscope. So looking here, yeah, we have probe points are gone. So this thing's going to need a new DC in board for sure. Yeah, the probe points that are just completely, can't even tell they're there on this. So let's see if we can try and get our green light back and just touch up the pins with the rest in peace probe points. This needs to be replaced anyway, but maybe savable. Alright, here's one. I'm probably going to end the stream shortly. It's hard to say if it's the DCM board got messed up or let's try that after we touched it up a little bit. Maybe that's all it needed. Kind of doubt it, but we'll see. Still nothing, so two things are happening. There's either liquid under something or the DCM board is bad. So at that, I'm going to end the stream. Probably do another stream if we figure this out. Probably the SMC causing this issue, so in that case we'll stream if I can find one. So thank you all for watching, and have a nice day.